Hello, and welcome to Dipto Television's brand new show, Aarong Dairy presents Bits and Bites. I'm your host and chef, Kishwar Chowdhury. This is such a special show because I get to meet amazing personalities, some who you may know, some who you may not know, who come here into my kitchen and help me cook up a storm. So let me not wait any further to introduce today's guests. My next guests are a couple that are absolutely dynamic and a powerhouse. My first guest is a veteran designer and has set the scene and been on the top of her game for decades. My second guest is the Vice Chancellor of ULAB, and apart from being an academic, is also an avid musician and part of a band. So I'm really excited to find out a little bit more and get some tips from this couple. Let me wait no further to introduce Humaira Khan and Imran Rahman.
Hi.
Hello, welcome. Humaira, you look stunning as always.
Thank you so much. So are you looking?
Thank you. Please have a seat.
Hi.
Imran bhai,
Hi.
lovely to see you.
Good to see
Come
you
and
too.
have a seat in my, I like to call this my makeshift living room. In lieu of having my own home, this is where I invite people to come and chat and cook with me. So welcome to my show.
Thank you. Beautiful
Thank you for
home.
having us.
Oh, it's
Beautiful home, yeah.
Yes.
As a designer, I've also seen you connect with the young new designers. Even the designer I'm wearing right now, when I said I'm going to be interviewing you, she had an anecdote to say, I absolutely love Humaira appa. আমাকে যখন কেউ চিনতো না, আমি যখন নতুন আর ফ্রেশ ছিলাম, সে আমাকে বলেছে তুমি তোমার কিছু কাপড় আমার দোকানে রাখো. You can absolutely share this space. So it's not a very common practice. Lots of people see young or new designers as competition. What caused that sort of generosity and what's your philosophy around that?
যখন আমরা বড় হয়েছি বা বড় হচ্ছি, then we have to bring out the younger generation that are looking up to us. যারা হয়তো রাস্তা পাচ্ছে না অথবা they can't afford a lifestyle or a showroom or any exposure. We have to reach out to them and also let them know how to go about. So the designer you're talking about, I know her personally and I loved her work, and along with her few other ones, and I started Ani Kenya brand where I wanted to host young designers, upcoming Bangladeshi designers. That's where it should be because everybody cannot afford a showroom.
I
First.
think that just speaks of your generosity. And,
Thank you.
So Imran bhai, you've been very formative about creating the Bangla language department around ULAB. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, our founders were very, foresightful. They we were the only university which had a compulsory Bangla Bhasha Sahittyor একটা course, which all undergrads, irrespective of the department, had to take.
Yeah.
So that was quite interesting.
I think I might need to take that course.
And later on, ultimately, we decided, hey, if there could be a bachelor's in English, why shouldn't there be a bachelor's of Bangla?
And so are you saying up until this point, there was no Bachelor of Bangla?
I mean, very few. I mean, the public universities had it,
Yeah.
but private universities, some of them had it, but they were not,
Common
there
practice?
was a matter of teaching it properly. Those who studied it are not going to end up writers and things. They just are ordinary students who are studying Bangla for the love of Bangla.
Yeah.
But they need a regular job at the end of the day.
That is so wonderful. So Humaira appa, how do you feel that it's now versus when you started off in terms of barriers to entry or skill sets? Or has it changed a lot and has it improved a lot, or are we selling the same thing repackaged?
That's a very serious question, but I'll tell you what. আমাদের দেশে পৃষ্ঠপোষকতার অভাব আছে for the real designs, and the designs are still limited to জামদানিজ, আমাদের টাঙ্গাইল শাড়িজ, তারপরে মাসলিন যেটা ছিল আগের সেই we couldn't revive that, but we are trying to work towards it. কিন্তু so textile যেহেতু ডেভেলপ না, আমাদের সেখানে ডিজাইনার্সরাও যতটুকু পেরেছে with the limited resources, they are tried to create something. কিন্তু we are very confused, I would say, what is the next look should be for Bangladesh fashion industry. So it is a bit of South Asia, it is a bit of West, it is a bit of Hollywood and Bollywood and everything mixed together. A little bit of kamcha, a little bit of rickshaw art. So it is a little bit of the Banglish culture, I say, the Bangla we speak or you speak, which is a Banglish, I often say. The Radio Furti culture also, where it is a mixture of a lot of many people brought in parts of the cultures we know.
Yeah. So there's the urban side and I guess the rural side as well, and people do dress differently. And I understand that. And what I love about what we're seeing in fashion is the expression of fashion through young people. And I love that now we're seeing a lot of young urban designers. Jekhane before we were seeing a lot of traditional work. We know about Dhaka Jamdani, but it also hasn't changed in over 100 years.
I think heritage should not be changed. You can work on it, you can improvise on it. And I'm somebody who doesn't like to turn jamdani into something as of a material because it is a very expensive material. It takes months for an artisan to create. But where I think the colleges and universities and the government should have taken, actually let the young come up with their designs and let them experiment, let them say that just do what you want and they shouldn't be worried about the expenses because these are, a lot of expenses are also connected with this. So some of the platforms that I worked with, they've been trying to create an awareness and collection, but it is still, I wouldn't say they're not catching the market. So fashion has to have a market as well, has to think about sellability. So that if it doesn't run, then it just comes to an halt. You talk about it, there is a hype, but there is no continuation. But whereas if you see the neighboring countries like in India and Pakistan, they create trends and they celebrate it, put it on the celebrities, and it becomes a hyped up thing for every season.
They keep their fashion relevant.
Very relevant, and it is accepted. It is not frowned upon as a career selection. It is okay to look good and glamorous, So the social thing is about also accepts, along with the musicians, along with the culinary experts, this as a field to explore. And they take it as a business commodity as well, fashion industry.
Yeah. Getting to a conversation that is about the both of you, I would really love to know about your meet cute, how you met. We know that you were part of this band and it's connected to music, but we would love to hear the story.
So, who's going to say hi?
You should start.
Well, I think music did play a factor in a sense that we used to have this regular kind of dinner dance at Spaghetti Jazz, this wonderful restaurant, which is still around, and we're still continuing with that. And I initially didn't know that she used to attend some of the shows with her friends. So that was the start. Music kind of got us together. And then I think later, when we were both kind of single in a way, well, she obviously got my eye.
I can't imagine why.
No, exactly. And then, so that's basically it. I sort of chased her on Facebook.
You mustered up the courage?
Yes. First time, no response. I remember I was visiting my daughter in Toronto.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, I just texted her, and she happened to be in Virginia, right?
Yeah.
You were in Virginia or in Virginia, and said. Then I said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "Why don't you come over to Toronto?" And she said, "No, you come over to." This is just banter, of course, serious.
Because Pasher Bashai to chilo Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. So, ওখান থেকে শুরু, তারপরে again just by chance, one day I reached out to her, and then we actually had a phone conversation, which continued for hours.
Yeah.
Right, and so that was the rest is kind of as you see.
History.
Natural progression.
Yeah. It was a very slow progression, Jodhio, but it was fun because I'm absolutely geographically challenged, Bangladesh especially. তো যেমন ধরেন তখন আমাদেরকে ও বলল যে let's meet up at Cosmos. এখন যে কোথায় আমি ঠিক জানি না.
Let's meet for breakfast at Cosmo Lounge. This is a very popular cafe which is not around.
Okay.
So, and there were two branches. One was in Bushundhara, the other was in Bonani. She said, "I'm here." I went, "Where are you? I can't see you." তারপর দেখলাম যে she's in Bushundhara.
Well, you must have also really wanted to meet him if you went all the way from your place to Boshundhara.
Yeah, because it's been long already. It's been few months that we didn't meet.
Yeah.
So we had a virtual breakfast, basically,
So then, yeah, we did
in different
that.
places.
So it was God's will to keep you still dating online
Yes.
until it eventually happened. You've met later in life, and you both have adult children. Somewhere, and we know this is really, really part of the fabric of our society and all of our homes. But somewhere there is, in these very culturally bound, preconceived notions that mixed or blended families or marrying, say, outside our religion or culture or marrying at a later age sometimes isn't the traditional step. And both of you are extremely intelligent. You're both extremely high achieving in your own fields. And then you happen to collide and you've met later in life. What was that like socially? And did you ever think about, I guess, did that ever affect your relationship or your families? Because there are a lot of blended families out there. And sometimes I feel that people don't talk about it with just the earnestness that it should be spoken about with.
When I married Imran, as you said, we were both at a later stage of our lives, and we had a very clean start to begin with.
Yeah.
That is, I think, very important, Being with somebody in our culture, it's not encouraged that single people can meet up second time around. I think this social taboo must be broken. And when you are at a certain age, অনেকেই বলে কি দরকার তুমি তো 46 হয়ে গেছো বা 47 হয়ে গেছো এখন কি দরকার কি দরকার না because you are lonely and you are still young and if you have a partner to spend your rest of your life and sharing all the happiness and the sadness and look after the family, become together, it's only a plus thing, and religiously as well. So our children, my children, when they saw a dignified person like Imran, they were very welcoming. So my parents also. My mother was so happy to see him. আমাদের বিয়ের দিন আম্মু উল্টা নিজের কাজল আমার চেহারায় না লাগিয়ে ওর কপালে লাগিয়ে বলেছে যেন নজর না লাগে. So that was the affection shared by my parents towards Imran. And Imran will say how his family accepted me.
Yeah, absolutely. And in my case, I had two grown-up children. And, I had to make sure that they're going to be okay. So, I remember visiting them in Toronto and New York and breaking the news about it. And, in a way, then I found out that my kids also wanted me to be happy.
Yeah.
They didn't want me to be lonely.
Yeah.
And they wished that for both their parents. So that made it easy. And I think they appreciated that, I didn't jump into anything without kind of sensitizing them.
Absolutely.
Before. But I must tell you, the first time I met her dad, he's a, air commodore. He's a pretty, scary person, but lovely person. So first time I met him, she said, "Oh, there's somebody I'd like you to meet. Somebody I like, and he's a musician." Oh man, that was it. I could
And
see
you decided to lead with that.
Yeah, no. Musician. মানে আমার মেয়েকে বিয়ে করবে তুমি? Yes, sir. Okay, all right.
Actually,
I
yes.
forgot to say that he's also Vice Chancellor.
I actually, to tell you frankly, for me, Professor Imran comes later. The musician, though, I love his music and I definitely started my journey with that. If he didn't sing, I wouldn't be with him.
Oh.
That is for sure.
And thank you for sharing that story with us. Now, talking about adventures and new skills and a bit of excitement, how do you feel about jumping into the kitchen with me and getting a masterclass in my makeshift home kitchen?
Oh, that would be lovely.
So excited.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's go. Let's test the culinary skills.
Sure.
Yes.
So Humaira pa Imran Bhai, I know you're both avid travelers. So I've picked a dish you might have eaten when you've been in the Middle East. We're making Middle Eastern mantis.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So, and I always tell my guests, we're going to get our hands dirty. So I'm going to
Okay.
take this off. Imran Bhai,
Okay.
you might want to take your
I
coat
think I
off and
will.
roll up your sleeves.
I think I will.
Wait, this is not, we're not acting here. This is like real hardcore cooking. এখানে আমরা আজকে যেটাই করি, I really want my guests to go home and replicate it and enjoy it and maybe put it in your rotodile or repertoire and impress your friends, hopefully,
Yes.
with this dish. But it's so quick and easy. Let me show you. So I've just got some chicken mince. So I've just got some garlic and ginger. So Humaira, do you both get in the kitchen or what's it like at home?
Because we both work,
Yeah.
so we hardly get any time to cook. But definitely we enjoy others'
But now
cooking.
we're inspired.
Now
but
you're
now
inspired?
we are inspired.
Okay. That was coriander, the dhone pata.
Right.
Eta hocche amader roshuner koli,
Right.
which is literally fresh from our little kitchen garden. So
Right.
feel free to add some. This is some pudina pata. I'll add some here, and we'll add some to the sauce so we can adjust it.
Right.
So Humaira, I'll
Yeah.
get you to start mixing this.
Okay.
And I'm going to put a little bit, because it's a Middle Eastern dumpling, I'm going to put some cumin and coriander in this as well.
Middle East এটা অনেক খায় না cumin and coriander.
হ্যাঁ, so coriander আমরা মনে করি যে ধনে জিনিসটা South Asian বা Indian খাবার ইউজ করি, but actually ধনে স্পাইসটা originated in Italy, so it's a European spice that made its way through the Middle East. It's found, you find it everywhere in North America, so from Moroccan cuisine all the way down to the south, and it made its way into the subcontinent.
Wow.
So when you trace the history of spices and you trace the history of dishes like this,
Yeah.
manti অনেকটা দেখা যায় যে মোমোর মতন, যেটা নেপাল থেকে আবার came down into
Yes.
Kolkata, it's quite famous. Then
Yes.
those
Yeah.
dishes migrate. I love following sort of like the anthropology or the migration of all these dishes and how they ended up. The last thing I want to add to this keema, আমি সবসময় একটা binding agent দিই dumpling mixে. So usually I use corn flour, but এখানে I want to use some cheese.
Okay.
So we have a very spicy sort of dumpling, and I want to bind it with a little bit of cheese.
You know, আমাদের I find that Bangladeshi cuisine, the traditional, is one of the best in South Asia, but we haven't promoted it enough.
Created a cultural identity around it. Okay, so the way this is going to work now, আমরা একটু পানি নিয়ে একটা edge, we're going to put it like a triangle এখানে. So then I'm going to take some of this mixture. I'm going to fold it much like a wonton. আর
Right.
এখানে যে
Yeah.
the aim is দুইটা জিনিস, একটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা প্রেস করি যেন ফিলিংটা না বার হয়ে আসে, so ওটা is one part of it.
Right.
The second part is আমরা এই জায়গার পেস্ট্রিটা we want to make it very thin.
Oh.
The thinner it is, the lighter the dumpling will be.
Right,
Okay.
So we're also trying to take 2 pieces of pastry and turn it almost into one. So we give it a good press. So please start. The next part I'm going to show you is when we get to here, তখন we want to bring it এদিকে,
আচ্ছা।
and so we're creating like a little boat.
Wow.
Yeah. See, it's really easy.
Okay.
They look complicated, যখন আমরা করি, but we've created this really pretty
Lovely
little
shape.
boat এখানে. So now that we have filled all the dumplings, let me put this aside. The next part is very easy. Imran bhai, I'm going to get you to put it into the
Okay.
pot of water. আমি usually dumpling যখন boil করি, আমি just পানিতে না দিয়ে আমি একটু কিছু add করি। এখানে I've add some ginger and garlic chives.
Right.
আমার মনে হয় it adds a little bit of flavor, and always salt your water. So the next step is very simple. আমরা yogurt একটা base বানাবো।
Okay.
Just gonna add a little bit of salt.
Right.
And feel free to add some chili. এই chiliটা অল্প একটু দেওয়া যায়।
Yeah.
The manti, what makes it really special is I like spicing the yogurt. A little bit of coriander,
Right.
A
Already
little-
looks so good.
the mint and the coriander, obviously. But what we're gonna add is temper, বা bagar.
আচ্ছা।
Literally আমরা যেটা bagar দিই,
আচ্ছা।
that's what we're gonna do to this yogurt.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
gonna be delicious. So এটার ভিতর I'm gonna add the garlic and then some onion. And I like having whole spices.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just a little. Eta hocche dhone.
Dhone.
And then I've got some jeera. So this has got a really nice sort of red chilies to spice it up a bit. So what are some of the dishes that you like to cook? Or I know you were born in Pakistan.
Yeah.
What are some dishes that are on your family dining table?
We love anything exotic.
Yeah.
My dad is a very good, he loves food in any capacity. Amar ma used to make lovely dahi vada. And she could also make lovely sweet dishes, pitas, firni.
Her parents are both from the same location,
almost.
Like Jamalpur and
Mamansingh.
Sherpur.
Yeah.
Whereas I come from a family where my father is from Netrokona village,
Yeah.
mother is Dhaka,
Acha.
old Dhaka. So it's a contrasting. Father was into choto mach,
Yeah.
but amma hocche old Dhaka specialties.
Yeah.
And I miss her.
So are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It's going to sizzle.
Wow.
They look good. The way
How would you know that they're done?
I just want to check that the insides are done. So I might cut one open.
Right.
Yep. And it looks nice and cheesy. We have this really nice yogurt mixture. We have like a nice amount of fat and yogurt. I'm going to put that on the base of my dish. I'm going to go for some red chilies because I love really spicy food. I'm on Talkai. And I'm going to add a little bit of coriander. And then I've got some roshuner koli. You must put a little bit of jeera.
I was just thinking.
And this always makes a dish very, very pretty and complete.
Oh,
Some
wow.
drops of herb oil and chili oil. I think it's time to eat.
Okay.
Let's go. So I'm really excited for you to try what we've made. And there's something very nice about cooking together and then sitting and eating together when we've all been part of the process. So I hope you enjoyed this dish and let's see how it tastes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I've got a nice, really plump, meaty one.
It's so delicious. It's so delicious.
Really?
Oh, really nice.
Really taste all the spices, especially jeera gurata. And on top of it, the yogurt with the bagar. It's so interesting.
This is fabulous, and thank you for having us. I mean, and being part of this wonderful TV series that you're doing. It's really an honor for us to be with you.
Yes, it's a pleasure because Kishwar, I have been knowing you forever and I always knew you were a star. And when MasterChef came, and I was really, really hooting out for you and you're looking out for you. And now that we are a part of the show, I really feel honored. And with us,
yes,
I think.
So thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But before you go, I have to tell you, and we're going to, finish up soon. Aarong Dairy has provided you with this little gift hamper, so you can start your cooking journey as soon as you go home.
Wow.
And
It's got all the ingredients. Huh?
and a small token of appreciation from Aarong.
Oh, thank you
Thank you.
so
Thanks to Aarong.
much. Yes.
What I'll do is, we will send this home to you in your car because it's quite heavy.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for being here. I'm going to come around.
Thank you.
And
And,
give
Yes.
you a big hug. Thank you. So thank you. See
Thank
you
you,
soon
Kishwar.
next time, and good luck on your cooking adventures.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. We're
Take
inspired.
care. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Another fantastic episode with such interesting guests. And I think, like every episode, I always take away nuggets of wisdom and carry that with me. Join me again for another cooking adventure with some very, very exciting guests in the very next episode. See you soon.